Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thank you for joining us round the kitchen table for lots more chit-chat.
Ah, lots more chit-chat.
Yes, especially for the new year.
Penny, can you believe it? What did you do New Year? Tell me you did something exciting. Put on a slinky, silvery gown and sat and watched fireworks while champagne corks popped all around.
No, I went to bed early.
You're so predictable.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I really would love to.
Did you try?
Enjoy New Year?
Did you try and
I
stay
did.
up?
No, I didn't. I actually go to bed early on purpose because I don't want to be sitting there at 1 minute to midnight, waiting, and then go Happy New Year. Well, that was a bit of a
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, exactly. I just prefer to go to bed knowing that tomorrow is the first day of 2025 and let's get on.
Penny, do you think we're old people? We might be old people, Pen. This might be one of those things where you just realise you're old people.
No, I've never liked it. Never liked it. It was interesting because way back when, a long time ago, probably I think the boys were probably something like 14 and 16, so a long time ago. 25 years ago, in fact.
Not saying they're old, but
no,
yeah.
Exactly. And it was New Year's Eve, and it was when Robert was driving trucks, and he would do a newspaper run, and he had to do it on New Year's Eve. And he said, "Oh, come on, let's make a family day out of it."
I love it.
So the boys all piled into the truck. I got into the truck, and I thought, I've got a bit of a headache. Anyway, low sunshine. By the time we'd gone about 20 minutes, the headache was so bad. And of course, with newspapers, it's all time sensitive. So once you've picked them up, you can't just go, oh, well, I'm just going to detour to the hospital.
No.
You've got to get them to where they need to go to.
This sounds like a disaster movie.
Well,
We're up against the clock.
seriously, and I was by this point crying because my head, I thought, was going to explode. So literally, he drops off the load and literally goes straight back. We had the doctor waiting. I was then bundled into an ambulance. And at which point Robert goes, hello. He knew the ambulance driver.
Of course he
Very
did.
annoying. And off to Southmead Hospital.
Penny.
And turned out I had meningitis.
You're kidding me.
No. It
Penny,
was really bizarre.
Do you know what? Again, this has taken a turn. I didn't see that coming.
But the weird thing was, and it was all fine. By the next day, literally, it was fine. Yeah. Absolutely fine.
Lucky, you were lucky.
But everybody to this day says she'll do anything to get out of New Year's Eve. Anything. I mean, it
really
was awful. Yeah. Awful.
Oh, that's worrying.
Yeah, but I hate New Year. Always have. Always have. I find it a bit false, don't you?
Yeah, I think there's also a sense of expectation that never quite delivers.
No.
I think I just can't be bothered.
No.
But yeah, 8 o'clock I was in bed.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I watched All Creatures Great and Small.
Well, it makes change from the Durrells.
Well, actually, some of the actors from the Durrells are in it, which is rather nice. And it's of the same sort of period, same era, so I quite like it.
Yeah.
I think they've probably just switched some of the clothes.
Yeah.
And maybe
I
don't
props. Even do any of those Hogmanay things.
Oh, no.
You know.
No.
Actually, we did have an amazing New Year once.
Once?
When we were in Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And so there was a lot of Irish dancing and fiddles and things like that. And doing the broom dance.
Lovely.
And it was
You don't mean your broomstick. You park that outside again
park
today.
that outside.
Yeah.
But that was amazing. That was amazing. They really knew how to party.
Yeah,
but that was the only one, really.
Oh.
Yeah.
We had one that I think was quite memorable. We took the boys to New York for Christmas a few years ago now. In fact, no, lots of years ago. Gosh.
See,
nearly
we're doing that.
Nearly 20 years.
We are sounding like those old gits.
We are old people. This is how we know we are old
Yes.
people. Because I was a couple of years ago. Actually, it was 20 years ago. And we took the boys to New York. And we arrived on Christmas Eve. And we went to the top of the Empire State Building. And it was literally, they were just about to close. It was like in a movie. Sorry, we're just closing. It's like, please, give us 5 minutes. We've come all the way from London. We get to the top. And a bit like that scene from You've Got Mail.
Oh.
And it started snowing. And it was literally, we stood at the top of the Empire State Building, freezing bloody cold, but it's snowing. Yeah. And Simeon was like, I did this for you. I was like, this is magic. It was really, really great. That was a lovely Christmas. We just moved around New York.
Can I just top trumps you?
You can.
I can.
I expect you to.
Yeah, because we went through a phase where we were lucky enough for a few years, we'd go to New York couple of weeks before Christmas. And we would take the boys and we'd do the Christmassy thing like you, Empire State Building, da-da-da. And we decided that, and it was so cold. I mean, if you think it's cold here, try America in, not
all of America.
Not all
some
of
it.
Yeah. It was so cold. And so we decided we were going to go ice skating in Central Park.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
And we got our skates on and we got onto the ice. And it was Bing Crosby singing White Christmas. And it started snowing.
Lovely. Did you do the whole, the ride on the carriage?
Yes, yeah, it was so
proper
lovely.
Tourists. All the things that when I see people doing it in London, I'm thinking, give it a break. Yeah. I did that in New York and I loved it.
Yes, definitely.
No, it was good. And then New Year's Eve, we had an apartment sort of overlooking Times Square. And the boys were like, can we go down and watch the ball drop? And I said, and apparently they put you in like these pens.
What's the ball drop?
The ball drops on the middle of Times Square for the New Year.
Does
Have
it?
you seen it?
No, never.
It's a thing. And they were like, can we go and watch it? And I said, yeah, of course we can. Then we found out they put you in literally like these metal pens and you're there for 4 hours in advance and you can't get out to do a wee-wee, which was my big concern. And you have to take all your food and drink you want in with you. And you're all squashed in like in a sort of, in a football match or other sporting, event I can think of. I was like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just sit here in the warm and watch it. And we did. The kids did. I went to bed about 11, but they loved it. But our body clocks were so out of whack. And we weren't there for long. We were only there for like 6 days. And so we didn't really bother doing New York time. We just at 3 a.m. went out and got a steak if they fancied it. It was lovely. But yeah, it was a memorable trip. Josh, we went to Chinatown and there was I don't know why I'm sharing this. This is one of our hairier moments on our trip. There was a board with all light bulbs screwed into it, showing where you could buy at this little store different light bulbs. And they were beautiful, filaments and pinks and greens and blues. And one of them was missing. And Josh, obviously, trod the step, walked up to it and put his finger in the empty... And guess what? He got an electric shock. He was really surprised. It threw him back across the pavement. He was like, ouch, hair standing on end. That really hurt. It's like, I wonder why. I wonder how that happened, Josh. Oh, my God. That was fun, but it was nice. And just that time in the lives when the boys wanted to spend holidays with us.
Yes. I mean, ours didn't last very long.
No. It goes quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, they decided that they wanted to go on holidays with their mates.
Yeah, so they could snog and drink.
Yeah, and do football stuff.
Oh, I don't think mine were doing football stuff.
No.
I think they were raving.
Raving
a bit. I don't know what raving is, but they were doing that. But I often think back to those times when they were little. I mean, Christmas was just so magical when they were just ripping off that paper and to reel their walnut or their coal. How they loved it. But I don't know.
Their threepenny bits.
Leave it, Pen. But it was just so lovely. And I look back also and think of the times they were on the beach, they were like, come and dig something with me. It was always about digging a hole, wasn't it? Or making a sandcastle. I'd love to do that. Go back.
You'll get it. You'll get it again. Being a granny, you will. Honestly, it's the best. As I keep telling everyone.
Wait. I'm waiting. Yes, as you know, granny and waiting. Maybe this year's the year, Pen.
Oh, it could be. You never know.
You never know.
We must ask because way back near the beginning of when we first started doing the podcast,
150 years ago.
I think her name was Melanie. Got in touch with us and said she was due to be a granny.
You are right.
And was there any advice?
That's
and I do remember that we talked about it a bit. Mm-hmm. It'd be lovely to hear from you, Melanie.
Oh.
And tell us how Christmas was with your new little one. Because it does make it all different.
It does, doesn't
Definitely does.
Yeah.
I said to my boys, you do realise you're not really getting any Christmas presents because we're spending all our money on the grandsons instead.
Quite right too.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lovely day. But anyway, did you get what you wanted for Christmas?
I did very well, as ever. Just lovely. Things I was expecting. Got me perfume, Pen.
Good.
So that's all well and good. I've got a new pair of boots. Sort of like gardening-y, hiking-y.
That's what I like to hear.
Wear anywhere boots.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of people won't buy me anything for the garden because they go, oh, no, I couldn't possibly because she's probably got it and she probably knows what she wants. I love getting things for the garden.
I always feel that about buying you flowers. I never buy you flowers because I think you can always just get them.
Yeah, I think flowers perhaps not.
Just stick your hand out the window and grab a bunch.
Yeah. And don't ever buy me an indoor plant, please. I'm so rubbish with them.
I've learnt that lesson.
I really am not good with indoor plants. I don't know why. I mean, I think perhaps our house is too cold or hot.
Hot.
Yeah. Is our house hot?
Yeah, I'd say.
Oh, right.
Imagine mine's very cold. Maybe it's just in comparison. I don't know.
I've just got 3 layers on.
I know, we're sitting here in jumpers today, I
know.
noticed, yeah.
But I can never understand why people just wander around in T-shirts, can you?
Well, I don't know, my kids like to spend their time in their pants.
Well, Josh has always got shorts on.
I know, always. Literally, Penny. All seasons, he wears rugby shorts.
Yeah.
And then if it's cold, he'll put like a fleece under his coat, his barber, but he's still wearing shorts. And he's always done it.
Postman. He's always postman you see in shorts.
I say to him,
December.
I say to him, why don't you put trousers on? He says, they're leg prisons. And I go, okay. And I thought it was because he was little. So I'd say, oh, that's fine. You can wear shorts to school and to play sport and whatever. Still does it now, nearly 30.
Aww,
I know.
That's what it is.
Can't see him changing anytime soon.
Do you know what I wanted to talk about today?
No.
Yes. Yes. No, you didn't know, but I'm going to tell you. Have you ever come across anyone who does hypnotherapy?
Oh, no. No, I don't think I have. I've seen hypnotism in action.
Really? What?
Yes.
What? Like a show thing?
Well, it was really weird. So actually, I've got 2 hypnotherapy stories. First one was I was with my brother Paul, and a load of us were down on the waterfront down in Bristol, outside the Arnolfini, if you want to be specific.
Oh, yes.
150 years ago. I was probably in my 20s, so very, very, long time ago. And this guy came along and said, oh, I'm a hypnotist. And we went, oh, that's nice. He had a top hat on and a velvet greatcoat. And I was like, it was summer. Oh, okay, lovely. Well done. On you go. And he said, I'm going to hypnotise you. And he was doing all these things with his hands and being very, swirly and producing a very large clock. It's all that kind of thing. It was all a bit bizarre and a bit weird. I didn't know what to make of it. And he said something to my brother, and we were all blah, blah, blah. And the next thing I know, he goes and stands outside the front of this pub and says, when you hear this music, I'm going to put some music on, and all those who are in my gang are going to clap. And I was like, God, that guy's so weird. It's really strange. What on earth's he doing? He put some music on. I can't remember, something we all knew. And suddenly my brother, who had a pint glass in his hand, smacked his hands together to clap, threw the glass, beer went everywhere, and he clapped. And we went, what are you doing? And he went, I don't know. But he wasn't the only one. And this guy had gone round hypnotising people. He didn't really tell them. He didn't really tell us what was going on. He was like this street performer, probably very legal nowadays. You probably need consent and sign for it.
Well, especially if he's got a hidden clock.
Exactly.
About his person.
It was the weirdest thing. And there was about 12 people who were all doing this thing, and he'd hypnotise them, and he had to go around and unhypnotise them. Very, very strange. That was weird. So I thought it was absolute rubbish until that point, because I saw it in action. I was like, oh, he's really done something. And then the other time, are you ready for a few name drops?
Yes, go on.
So I was on a beach. I had a beach in North Devon where I spent my gap year.
I had a beach in... What, you owned it?
I was on it.
You said I had a beach in North Devon.
Did I?
Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
I was on a beach in North Devon.
Yes.
Just reading, obviously, as you do. And I was about 18. And Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin was walking on the beach, lived quite close. Came and sat down with me. I'd met him a couple of times in the pub. And he said, we've got a christening on Sunday. Do you want to come along? And I said, oh, I'd love to, yeah. He said, oh, the whole band's going to be there. I said, oh, yeah, that'd be lovely. So I go to his house in the middle of nowhere, absolutely beautiful house, beautiful grounds. And there's Robert Plant and Led Zeppelin all on this like mini makeshift stage, all jamming and playing music and singing, and people getting up from the crowds. It was absolutely phenomenal. And I was just like, this is surreal, particularly as my brother, Paul, who's a drummer. I kept thinking, I should have brought Paul. Paul would have loved this, to our little jam. It would have made his life. In fact, Robert Plant's daughter got engaged on the stage to their bass player that night.
Oh my goodness.
It was all really strange, a surreal night. Anyway, this young guy stands up, who no one's heard of, Paul McKenna, who turned out to be quite a well-known hypnotherapist later in life, did this whole thing and put on this amazing show. And one of the people he hypnotised was one of my friends, and she came back to us and said, well, it didn't work on me. But it had. She'd done all these crazy things. So it's fascinating. I wouldn't like it to be done to me, Pen.
Well, this is the thing, is I would be far too scared to go to any show, because I think that they'd somehow infiltrate my brain.
Yeah.
And leave something there, so that when you left, every time you heard the word Merlot...
Or in your case, a lot. Every night you'd be clucking like a chicken.
I would.
Clucking around the kitchen.
Yes. I just find it fascinating.
It is.
And how do you learn to become a hypnotist?
I don't know.
Are you a hypnotist or a hypnotherapist?
I think there's both.
Oh.
So I do something that's slightly self-hypnotherapy. That sounds
Yes.
bonkers. So I do this thing where, as you know, I'm losing weight. Not that I mention it much. Hello, every episode. But it's a big thing for me. And I often used to really crave things, especially at the start of my weight loss journey. I think, I really fancy a piece of cheese, or I fancy a twirl or whatever. And I discovered that if I tell myself I've had it, I can almost taste it. And then 10 minutes after, I'm not sure whether I've had it or just imagined it. And it's a little trick I've learnt to do. So I think,
that's clever.
I really fancy a piece of cheese. Oh, I've had a piece of cheese. And I can almost imagine what it tastes like and feels like in my mouth. And my stomach feels like it's had it. And then literally, an hour later, I'm thinking, did I have some cheese or did I not? But the craving is gone. And I've learnt to do that. And it's been really, really helpful.
That's a really good way of coping with it. I mean, I've decided I just eat rubbish when I'm bored. So as long as I keep myself busy, then I don't eat.
What about gaffer taping your mouth up?
Well, I could try that. But yeah, and also I'm lazy. So if it means having to, I mean, saying that, I love, we obviously have a nice supper and I love doing lovely meals. But in between time, if there is something that has to be made for me to have it, if I've got to actually heat up a mince pie,
Penny,
can't
that's
be
too
bothered.
much.
Too much. But I don't like them cold, so I just won't bother.
It's more information.
Have
you got any mince pies left then, Pen?
Yes, still working my way through the mince pies.
Really?
And I almost am mince pied out.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't want to see another bit of coleslaw and cheese. I don't want to see. I'm just done with it all.
We've done our same thing again though. I bought this most amazing cheese platter from the Fair and Cheese Company in Bath.
Oh, hello. Fancy, Mrs.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely, lovely, lovely shop. The sad thing is they can't be doing well, because if, like me, you're only going once a year, you're not selling much.
There's probably people that go in every week.
Do you think they do?
I do, yeah. Otherwise, if they stood there for 12 months waiting for you, I think they'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I think they would. But we've sort of nibbled round bits, but it's
Like
still there. Yeah, it's still there. So I end up giving it to the chickens in the end.
Yeah, lucky
Chickens love
chickens.
it.
Well, hello.
Yeah.
I'd be chicken in your place
honestly,
if that's what you're getting.
Honestly. But we've got a bit of an issue at the moment with the polytunnel.
Oh, pray do tell.
I'm thinking of setting up a camera, because I feel if you know your enemy, then you can adjust your campaign.
Oh, hello.
Because
this sounds very tactical.
Something is going into the polytunnel at night and pulling the ranunculus out. Now, the ranunculus are about 4 inches high now, and normally once they've got a bit of green on, pests tend to leave them alone, because the sugar's gone out of the bulb or the claw.
Wow.
Pulling them out, just tossing them aside,
So
willy-nilly.
Not eating food.
No, just tossing them out.
Is it Rob? Have you checked?
Well, if it is
he
I'll kill him.
sleepwalking?
And then I have to go the next morning and put them all back in again.
Keeping
It's
you
really
busy,
annoying.
Pen. Keeping you
really
busy.
annoying.
That's really strange.
I know.
But quite dexterous as well.
Well, it's just, I can't understand why they're doing it. I feel like saying, why? It's a bit like a small child. Why did you do that?
Yes.
Why? Tell me why.
They've obviously got access. How can you restrict access?
Well, I think they're obviously getting in through. I mean, I'm going to get a big rat trap, I think.
Oh, you think it's rats?
Well, I think it must be rats. I don't think it's a squirrel. Did I tell you about the squirrel in the attic?
No. But I'm not at all surprised. You've got a squirrel in your attic.
Please, dear listener, if anybody has got the answer to my problem, at night it is so loud that we're sitting there over the sound of the television. It sounds like they're having a party up there.
They probably are.
Running up
They're
and
stealing
down
your
and
cheese
up
and your
down.
ranunculus. They're having a lovely party.
And then Robert goes and looks in the attic. Can't see anything. Can't see anything. So I don't know how to catch them. How do we catch them?
Well, believe it or not, we too had a squirrel in our roof.
Oh, did you?
Yes. It was
How did you catch it?
I don't know. It was between the wall and the outside wall or something like that. But you're right, really loud.
Loud.
So I thought, we've got mice. I mean, we obviously it's a farm. We're going to get
Big
mice.
mouse.
Exactly. Simeon said that's definitely not a mouse.
It's a mouse with clogs on.
I prefer that.
Well, I despair.
Well, my dad had a squirrel problem. He had a humane trap.
But do you actually catch them?
Yeah, he did. He caught he caught his squirrel and then was too afraid to open the trap and let it out. So he had to call my brother, who came along. It was a whole farce. It was a whole, like, you know, the Plank, the movie. It was all just like that over a squirrel. Yeah, we had a squirrel. I can't remember what happened. I think maybe it just went away of its own accord. Went on holiday.
Well, obviously, our attic must have a lovely sort of, you know, situation for this squirrel to build a nest.
Yeah.
And it's having a rare old time. Runs up and down. I mean, I can imagine it skipping.
Hurdling.
Yeah, literally skipping. So, watch this space, because I'm afraid I'm going to get a very big trap.
Oh, but a friendly one, Pen.
Of course.
Because they're only little squirrels.
Yeah.
Little
And we'll
bushy-tailed
take it
lovelies.
3 miles away, and then in a week's time he'll be
come
back.
back,
He'll say, thanks, I've had a lovely holiday.
Exactly. Were you ever a member of the Tufty Club, Pen?
Yes! Do you remember Tufty? Oh my gosh.
When
that's
you
brought
weren't
back
an
some memories.
inter.
Oh yes.
Made up
it was.
thing. Made up thing. Yeah, Tufty Club. All the best people in
I
Tufty
know.
Club.
Back crossing the road.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I've never got run over, touch wood, to this day. So obviously it worked. And I had a badge. We had like an enamel badge in those days. Very fancy.
I know.
On your blazer. I don't think it was cool.
We didn't have to wear blazers.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah, because it was, you know, not very... went to the City of Bath Girls' School, so we had posh blazers for that, and then we became a comprehensive.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Penny.
I know. Spent all that money on the uniform.
That's hilarious. My school was the school where all the kids who had been excluded, or we used to say expelled, from other schools went. And I was sent to that school, and it was, I mean, it was hopeless, but hilarious. I mean, the things I saw, I couldn't believe it. I must have had a very sheltered upbringing when I look back and think things that... One girl came in and it was the first day of term. It was my first day at the school. It was September, I was 11. And this girl arrived late. And the teacher said, "Where have you been?" She said, "Oh, I'm sorry, my mum just had a baby. I had to help her deliver it in the front room, but she's all right now." And the doctor's come, and so I could come to school. And I'm like, "What? You just delivered your own sibling?" I was absolutely mind blown. But she was so blasé, like she'd done it 3 or 4 times before. She was amazing, actually. We became quite good friends.
And from that beginning, we must mention the fact that you very shortly have your new book out.
I do. Penny, thank you for saying that.
That's
Carol.
okay, because
Yes.
I am so excited.
So January the 7th, This One Life comes out. And it's a story of, I think it's actually all of our stories, really, all women. If at any point in your life you've been at a crossroads, had to worry about what decision you're making, or you make a decision and then have to live with the consequences of it, and how you get out the blocks. You know, very often we have ideas of what we want to be and places we want to go and the things we want to achieve, but we don't really know how to get started. We don't know how to do it. No. And this is very much Madeline's story, and she's absolutely lovely. And it goes back to, it's told in 2 timelines. The first one is 8 years ago, and it's one day in her life when she learns something that's going to completely change the course of her history. And the rest of it is present day, where you learn how she actually is living her life and how the two sort of match and marry up. I love it though. It's really, it's nice, if I'm allowed to say that.
You of course you are allowed to say that. I have been very lucky to get a pre-copy.
You have.
And I am already halfway through it, and I have to say, even, I mean, for me, you know me, I love the cover.
Yes, good. Always cover. A good sign for you, Pam.
Beautiful, beautiful cover. Lovely colours. You'd notice it in a big, long table of books, definitely. You would. Very lovely. But it's such a lovely book.
Thank you, Pam.
Honestly, it is really, really beautifully written.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not just saying that.
No. But thank you, I do appreciate it. Yeah. And of course, that's a lovely little precursor, because on January the 11th, not long now, we have our live book launch Chit Chat event, which is being held down in Wiltshire. And it is Wiltshire, isn't it?
Is it Wiltshire?
Is it Wiltshire?
I think it is.
Yes. Wiltshire. And tickets are available from Tea Leaves and Reads. For those of you who don't know, Tea Leaves and Reads are a fantastic, fantastic company. They're a bookshop. They are book entrepreneurs, they are book advocates, they're bookworms, they are all things book. William and mostly Katie, they're just wonderful supporters to authors, to readers, everything. And they are putting on this launch event at the fairground down there at Weyhill. So we're really, really excited. You and I are going to be there. You're interviewing me, Pen.
I am. I'm already compiling a list of questions.
Oh my gosh, nothing to do with us.
But I wanted to ask people, if they have any questions that they would like to ask you, please put it on our Instagram page at The Chit Chatters. send me those questions, because I will be there asking Mandy all of these questions.
That's great.
So I think it'd be really fun. We're going to have such fun times.
It's going to be lovely. I think there's afternoon tea, and obviously I'm giving away, everyone will get a book. And we've kept the price really reasonable so that people, we're just covering the costs on it, I think. But there's plenty of parking, and it should be really nice. And it's a Saturday afternoon, because who wants to go out of a night?
No, not me.
No, not me. We'd be in our PJs by 8, wouldn't we?
I know. I like it, and especially at that time of year. When it's dark by 4:30.
Yeah.
You don't really want to be driving home in awful weather.
I quite like the idea of having something. I thought it was nice to have something to look forward to in January, because it can be a bit of a low month.
Yeah.
A bit quiet and a bit
definitely
dark and a bit miz.
And I'm really looking forward to it.
It'll be
I'm
lovely.
looking forward to meeting lots of people. Please don't bring too many packets of custard creams.
Why do you say that, Penny? Bring as many custard creams as you like. I can help you out with them.
I will be dressed as a custard cream.
Penny, you're always
obviously
dressed as a custard cream.
I mean, it goes without saying.
I love
People
it.
would be disappointed.
They would absolutely. It's kind of like your signature look now. To go dressed as a biscuit. If ever we go to a fancy dress, don't you? You have to go as a custard cream. It won't be hard.
No. I mean, most of my wardrobe makes me look like custard cream.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could also provide the boxes that you could shape into a custard cream, because I don't know if you know this, but my husband is a box addict. He collects he collects cardboard boxes, and in fact I can sum our marriage up really in one activity. It's every time a parcel is delivered, I have to race to get to the front door or wherever it's been left, so that I can open it and then break the box up to stop him keeping it.
No,
Penny.
you are not a box breaker.
Penny, you have no idea. He has every cupboard is
That
full
drives
of
me
boxes.
insane.
Penny's got so many.
Oh,
Every size, every texture, every colour, every shape, everything you can imagine.
But in the spring, I will be sneaking some of those boxes away.
Darling, you can fill your boots.
Because we use them to go on top of all the beds. And that's how we create new beds.
They're yours.
Oh,
Say the word.
the best Christmas present I could possibly have.
It drives me crazy. Honestly, he keeps boxes. And I say, what do you need it for? And he says, it's a good box, this one.
And he keeps his boxes in a box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have some cupboards and some sort of, closets down here, and they are full to the gunnels of either army uniform. I mean, literally, I don't know what he thinks, but obviously, he has to keep his uniform. I get it. But we have got Arctic gear, jungle gear, foul weather gear, warm weather gear, hot gear. I mean, he has he's like Action Man. Action Man
Sounds
had
like
all
our
these different...
utility.
But Action Man had all those different outfits.
Yeah.
Simeon
And
has
boots.
those in real life. Everything.
How exciting.
Oh, God, it drives me nuts. All I want to do is...
Every day of the week,
a
you
little-
go, Simeon, I fancy a bit of Arctic.
I really don't. But what was funny was when because he left what I would call his uniform role a little while ago, and now he wears what I would call normal clothes to do a very different job. Still in the army, but kind of different. And it was quite funny because he wore his uniform 6 days a week. And when this job transitioned into something where he's like, I can now wear human clothes, he didn't have any. He's like, I've got anything to put on. I've literally got no clothes because all I've ever worn is army clothes. And then the older they get, they become gardening clothes. He was always just in camo. I can never find him.
Oh,
I can never find
in the
him.
garden.
Yeah, where is
Never
it?
find him.
No idea.
What is it with people that say, I'm going to keep that for working in the garden? I'm just going to keep that old T-shirt with 3 rips in it to wear in the garden.
Yes.
Who does that?
Simeon.
Oh,
That's what he does.
and Robert.
It drives me mad,
Yeah.
Ben, honestly. I have to secretly do a little haul for the charity
Yeah.
shop. Do you do
and
that?
me. Yeah.
Wait
Yeah.
till he's out.
Yeah.
And then I raid his knicker drawer. All those knickers are going. Everything. Well, I mean pants, not knickers. He doesn't wear knickers. He wears pants. Men knickers.
Pant man.
But it drives me nuts, this idea of, I'm guilty in that I do find it hard to let some things go. And if I've had them a long time, it's almost like they've earned their place in my house. But funnily enough, this year I decided that I wasn't going to put out all the Christmas decorations because I had boxes and boxes and boxes. So I've put out very little, and it's been just as lovely, I think, slightly sparkly. I'm getting rid of them all, Pam.
Well, I think the trouble is we hang on to too much stuff full stop.
Yeah.
And I haven't got a very big house, so the problem is we've got no storage.
No,
And
no
I've
one
got
has
nowhere
enough
to put
storage,
it.
do they? No one has enough storage because you fill every gap. You've got every crevice. If it's not full of uniform. I just thought, I'm going to thin out my Christmas decks. So I haven't packed them all yet.
Perhaps you could get Simeon to lend Robert some uniform.
I like this. Really? We'll talk about this off air, Pen. Let me know what you want. Got a little order in. Tool belt? What do you need a tool belt for? I'd hang on to that. That's fine. Oh, my word. Anyway, my love, on that note, we have reached the end of another lovely episode. It's been lovely chatting to you, Pen. And thank you for listening, everybody. And you can, of course, catch up with all previous episodes from wherever you get your podcasts. And our brand new episode will drop next Friday. So we look forward to having your company then.
And can I say Happy New Year?
Happy New Year, Pen. At what point do we stop saying it?
Oh, that's it. Done now.
Really?
Yeah, because let's just get on.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's just put it behind us.
Yes.
Start afresh.
But let's think that we're going to be doing all sorts of wonderful things this year.
We are. It's going to be a wonderful year. I think it's going to be a good year for us. I think a lot of people are coming out of this cycle of, whatever they've been going through. So here's hoping for brighter, better times ahead.
Definitely.
Until next time, take care.
Bye-bye.